also working out a digital identity bill so that they'll be able to collect data on what you spend your money on, where you travel, what you say on social media. Every single thing about your life they have on there. They're justifying it on the benefit of a convenience. We're going to look after your data. We're going to make your data more secure. The other thing that they don't tell you that we saw in the digital identity bill was that they will take your data as a big brother government. Yes. They will sell it. They can sell it if the government wants to a foreign corporation. So your data is stored overseas, not in accordance with Australian regulation. Health data, financial data, travel data, what you say on social media, etc. So if you want access to your health data, you'll have to pay some corporation somewhere in the world to get access to it. And that then leads the way into a central bank digital currency. That leads to social credit. Yes. That also leads to 15-minute cities.
The hijacking of the music industry, right? 440 Hertz was basically taking the key of A. It's called Key of A. You can look this up. And they changed that tune so that people would get angry and irritable while they listen to the music. And when you get angry and irritable, you actually start to break down your body. And I noticed this was a trend too when I was in the fitness world as well, right? You listen to angry music to get angry, to lift and do these things. But what I don't realize is it's also breaking down my body because I'm getting mad at things that I don't even know what I'm supposed to be mad at. I'm not focusing on the root cause of where my anger may be coming from. I'm projecting it and amplifying it more. And headphones or AirPods, we could go into that one too as well, another frequency. But with headphones, you're putting that right into the brain and it's going deep into the brain. A lot of this is put into our homes, or a lot of these frequencies are put out so that they can get ingrained into either the body or the mind. And someone just said, which is funny, I drive faster when I listen to rock. Yes, because the 440 hertz of rock is to make you angry while you're driving.
60 Minutes has broken the story open on Havana Syndrome. Havana Syndrome is this phenomenon around the world where American officials keep getting attacked by some sort of technological warfare that results in them getting a random ringing in their ear to the point where they often fall unconscious or begin projectile vomiting, and then afterwards they'll experience cognitive impairment. It's called Havana Syndrome because the first cases are believed to have happened in Cuba, but now reports are that they actually began in Germany. 60 Minutes interviewed a wide variety of government officials, and they all say that the people who are being attacked and targeted with this Havana Syndrome are all people who are working on cases related to Russia. One of the victims was an FBI agent who was on a case regarding an alleged Russian spy, and she was attacked in her home in Florida where she suddenly had this ring in her ear and fell unconscious. It is believed that it is some sort of electromagnetic or acoustic weapon.
Why are they doing that? If they're going to work and they're working on it, why are they telling you it's not real? Well, I'm going to show you. It's very simple. I went ahead because I was so angry, and when I get mad, I do research, and then I force myself to take a breath, go outside with the bow staff if I'm really pissed off, and come back to Zen. Self-control. Make a list. And I'm like, okay, wait. So if I go to work for Command and Control C4ISR, CyberNet and NIBRNet back into the NSA, DNA steganography with the NSA, and we watch every synaptic exchange at 5,100 bits and log it with the NSA PRISM program. That's what Assange, Snowden, and all of them were talking about. That's why they killed Barnaby Jack, the ATM jackpotter. He was there at DEF CON to present that it was easier to hack a human body with a pacemaker or otherwise. You didn't need to have a pacemaker than it was a car. So with that in mind, I'm like, why can't we talk about this? So I went and found where you can talk about it, because even in the machine learning, you're not allowed to write the word biofield, which I found very weird, because nobody reads that stuff. So then I found out that it is the following. Electronic, medical, police, warfare divisions, military, your Lockheed, Raytheon, all of them. Signal, advanced signals technology. It's everywhere as a job. In information, surveillance, and reconnaissance, the Internet of Behaviors, Bodies, Things, the Industrial Internet of Things, the Medical Body Area Network, all way back, 2005, 2015. It's all there. And I'm like, these are jobs? Oh, yeah. And then neuromodulation, neural stimulation, Project Salus, watching everybody think in real time with CT2WS, cognitive warfare technology, EEG headset, ultrasound, modified ultrasound, all walking around on a headset. Then the Renius chipset embedded in their left hemisphere. And I'm like, where did all of this come from? Synthetic telepathy, been out there since 1995. So they needed a backbone. Just like back in the day when everybody was logging into email for the first time on dial-up, it would get crowded, people would have to wait forever and get kicked off. I fucking worked it, I would know. So my job was to upgrade them, to bring them out of dial-up and onto cable modems, for which I used a system called Nmaps on COM controllers with something called COM21 cable modems, which were different than the throwaway DOCSIS stuff in the big cities. Different markets, so different hardware, everything, different software. So I went ahead as I continued to make my little T-bar list, and I'm like, so let me get this straight. If I'm in radio frequency, if I'm in IT, I log into the body, make changes, and organize. If I'm anyone else in the world, I'm a fucking nut job. Give me drugs and make me sit still. And the only place you can really learn about the biofield is in the Bible, because Jesus used it to heal. And I mean, it's ions and electrons. It's your exchange with your environment. That's why everybody works with radar. We're told, get your nuts away from it because it'll overheat you and such. And then they also could feel the radar coming and going without looking at the screen. Yes, because you have an electrical body part involved. So then, as if all that wasn't enough, because I couldn't figure out how is it so obvious to me, but not everyone else, because I admit the body part. Now, enter in where I come from. I come from Black Projects. So I go back to my grandmother, who was a Rosicrucian in Chicago, has a bunch of depression glass. These are nanogels, or excuse me, nanolipids. And they would have them stand on a metal plate or whatever. Yeah. And that's your specialized concrete for human teleportation, like you heard out of the mouths of Sean Ryan and other people he interviewed, the Marines and such, that found the photonic different mixtures of concrete.
Is happening. Comment your thoughts.
CIA mind control experts use a three-word phrase to instantly hack someone's thoughts. It's called embedded command priming, where they hide suggestions inside normal conversations by slightly emphasizing specific words. Your brain subconsciously picks up these commands without realizing it. For example, saying "that's a great choice" while nodding makes your target more likely to agree. Here's the crazy part. You've been exposed to this technique hundreds of times today without even knowing it.
An artificial brain cell called an iontronic memristor that mimics human brain synapses using salt and water. Developed by researchers from Utrecht University and Sogang University, this breakthrough merges biology with electronics, marking a step forward in iontronics. The device uses charged ions in a water solution to transmit electrical signals, similar to the human brain's synaptic functions. Shaped like a tiny cone, it measures only 150 by 200 micrometers and can remember past electrical charges, showcasing synaptic plasticity, an essential feature of human neurons. Although still in early stages, the iontronic memristor offers a promising path toward creating computers that mimic the brain's processing abilities while being relatively easy and inexpensive to produce. It could also enhance machine learning, allowing devices to process and learn tasks in ways similar to human neurons, opening doors for advancements in artificial intelligence, robotics, and neural networks. The memristor's ability to remember past electrical charges could lead to energy-efficient, self-learning systems in areas such as autonomous vehicles, personalized medicine, and even brain-computer interfaces. Its simple and cost-effective production may make it a key component in building accessible, scalable neuromorphic computers that bring us closer to replicating the human brain's processing capabilities, potentially transforming how we approach complex problem-solving and human-machine collaboration.
From New York to Brazil, Buenos Aires, and then Antarctica, without ever coming up to the surface for air. And you can do it all at way more than 1,000 miles an hour on magnetic levitation trains, otherwise called maglev. One thing he told me, he went from Virginia to Los Angeles in 40. Do the math, 3,000 miles an hour. Most people don't even believe that there's a tunnel network. There are there are hundreds of thousands of miles of tunnel systems.
With quantum mechanics, smart guys out here are doing stuff that nobody knows about because it's above, but I'm smart enough to figure it out. I figured it out. And he's involved with it too. And they're all computer programmer hackers over here. He's involved, this guy's involved, that guy was involved, they involved, and they involved. So it's like a Bluetooth thing. You know how the technology is going on right now. They Bluetooth and shit. And people driving by talking through the Bluetooth talking track. And it's picking up and it's running through the speakers. So or even when I'm watching my TV, they're talking through my TV. You see what I'm saying? It sounds crazy, but I got the proof of it. I recorded my cameras and all my electronic stuff is being like hacked into and messed with. And it's been going on for years. And I got a lot of evidence. Okay, can I? And then when I started telling him how he doing it, using the metadata, I know exactly how he does it.
Cameras were used in a standard first-grade classroom, and several hyperactive children may be noted, especially the boy in the immediate foreground. "90 days after the regular cool white fluorescent tubes were replaced with the new type full spectrum fluorescent tubes with radiation shields, there was a marked improvement noted, and the extremely hyperactive boy has voluntarily moved up to the front row. He raises his hand for recognition and is taking part in classroom activities. Prior to the time that this new lighting was installed, this particular boy had an extreme learning disability problem, but quickly learned to read within 90 days after the new lights were installed. There was further noted a general average improvement in both the behavior and academic achievement of the entire class. There are, however, other factors that must also be considered. The implications of the biological effects of light and radiation, as observed through time-lapse photography, are obvious.
That is vibrating at a particular frequency, within 17 seconds, other energy like that will be attracted to it. So if I'm having a positive thought or a negative thought, then what happens is that energy is attracted to it. I have other thoughts that are like that thought. If you do that 17 seconds, 17 seconds, 17, for 68 seconds, then momentum begins to occur. Let's say that I'm normally, all of our emotions have a frequency to it. So if I'm in despair or anger or worry, all of those are lower, denser frequencies. You get into things like contentment, happiness, joy, love. Those are higher, faster frequencies. Let's say that I normally live in contentment, and that's my set point, because that's where I live. I think about that all the time. That's what my makeup is. So I'm driving down the highway. All of a sudden, a car cuts me off, and I get angry. So now I'm in the lower, denser frequencies. And so then I go back to the office, and I'm telling all my colleagues, here's what happened. This knucklehead cut me off. Go home, tell my wife that. What am I doing? I'm vibrating angry energy. I go to the supermarket, and there is somebody in line. I have 3 items. I'm getting in line, and somebody ahead of me has 38 items. And the guy that's running the cash register, it's his first day, and he's not doing very well. He's very slow. Is that a coincidence? No, it's something for me to get angry about. So I'm attracting into my world whatever it is that I'm vibrating.
Your existence started with a spark of light, and not just an egg and a sperm. Let me show you actual footage of the moment life begins. It's called the zinc spark, and it happens the moment the sperm fuses with the egg. When that happens, the egg releases a burst of zinc ions, creating this incredible light show. But it's not just for looks. This spark is essential. It locks out other sperm to make sure only one gets in, and it activates the egg to start dividing and growing. It's the first step in the process that led to you. Scientists discovered this spark happens because the egg is activated by the sperm's fusion, which causes a surge of calcium and triggers the zinc release. Without this, the egg couldn't start its journey to becoming an embryo. You could call it a chemical reaction, and you wouldn't be wrong. But let me ask you this. If life begins with a flash of energy, what does that say about what you are? That spark didn't disappear. It's in every thought, every heartbeat, and every breath you take. It's all powered by the same force that lit up the very beginning of your life. You're not just flesh and blood, you're a walking, living field of energy. So the next time you wonder what you are, remember you're not just a body made of cells. You're light, you're energy, and it all started with a spark.
Distract you with Did He Know?
Did you see this thing that the Biden administration pushed through? This new martial law thing?
Yeah.
This is very disturbing. Jamie, please Google this so we can find out what the actual law states, but it's DoD Directive 5240.01, giving the Pentagon power for the first time in history to use lethal force to kill Americans on U.S. soil who protest government policies.
What are they expecting?
5250.01, sounds right?
Is that what it is?
Sorry.
Did I tell you what it is? I'm sorry. 5240.01, DoD Directive. This is from RFK Jr. Posted this on Twitter, and I'm finding out about it because people are blowing me up about it. That's fucking terrifying. That is a terrifying thing to push through for the first time in U.S. history, giving the military the ability to shoot and kill American citizens.
That's crazy too. It's interesting because, you know, with the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act and stuff like that, it's almost like they kind of, in a weird way, just make it legal what they're already doing. What
is that? The Smith Modernization Act?
The Smith-Mundt Modernization Act that Obama pushed through, which basically made it so it was legal for the U.S. government to use propaganda against its citizens, which they were already doing in different ways through CIA and all that stuff. So it's not like we can legally do it. You can't sue us now.
How crazy is it that it's legal to lie?
How crazy
is that?
It's legal
for the government to not just legally lie, but they can concoct completely fabricated stories just to push a narrative if they decide that it's in the best interest of national security or whatever.
Thing you're living in vibrates. As a matter of fact, there is an aura of energy around your body. That is the cells leaving your body. Your body changes at the rate of about 50,000 cells per second. And as the cells leave the body, new ones are created. And you know, as the image in a person's mind changes, the vibration of their body changes, and the density and the color of this energy changes, and changes dramatically. Do you know you've even got a mental faculty where you can start to feel that energy coming from a person, and you can determine the mood they're in very, very quickly. You can virtually read what's going on inside an individual. That's just about as bizarre as anything you'll ever hear. But I'm going to tell you, it's just as true as anything you'll ever hear if you understand natural laws. And what I'm talking about is moving your mind into a higher vibration, developing a higher consciousness.
No, they have found nanotechnology in Coca-Cola and in Pepsi products.
Nanoparticles, and some are very self-assembling. Nanorobots are deployed, which will be sometime perhaps in the 2020s or the 2030s.
I have a clean pipette. There's nothing in it. It's brand new. So now I'm going to open the product. So here we are, Pepsi Max. Let's open this product. I'm going to get my product, the product, one drop. And this product is now on the microscope. And I've got it in dark field. Let's see what this sample does. So straight away, we have got a huge amount of dots. These are just like I'm seeing in the blood. They are building together. These are like quantum dots. This is what I like. This is what I see in the blood. Obviously, you've just seen that there are all sorts in this. And I don't know what this is. Oh, look at this. This is, I'm sorry, but this is this is what I see in the blood. This is a hydrogel ribbon. And you can see these networks and structures, they're building in lines. It's absolutely full.
CIA, where they were doing a study of the use of motion pictures in America as a means of psychological warfare. So it goes all the way back to pre-1947 when U.S. intelligence was using motion pictures to alter the thinking of Americans in the United States.
The morale of our troops is high. The laughter, music, and general entertainment which comes out of a single small package like this one have helped to build that morale.
The CIA is funneling information into Hollywood. Hollywood is putting out in the movies, and the population believes it.
This document right here is a FOIA document. Anybody in America, anybody can request this. It's Freedom of Information Act. And in the 40s, they were telling you they controlled the radio stations. They controlled most of the mainstream media. They're telling you right here that motion pictures are used as psychological warfare. Why would they stop
commit the crime, even though that person's utterly innocent, that it becomes a planted memory. And so there's some really interesting research that we can plant false memories in the brain. And in a different context, one of the emerging areas that's really interesting in law neuroscience is pain detection. And once we understand the circuitries that cause pain, I guess the question is, could we then instill pain and use that in many coercive measures in the legal system as well? So.
Wow. This is an image of a kid flipping back and forth between an iPad and a phone with incredible dexterity. This is a family out to dinner, and the kids are watching screens. Another kid without any phone in his hand, crying, attempting to swipe the phone that is not in his hand as if scratching at an itch, but not successfully. And a kid actually tapping a screen in their sleep. What's happening is very clear, which is that the human brain is an incredible organ because it's a map of our experience. It has certain parts that are hardwired that govern our heart rate and control of our heart rate, or control of our breathing, certain immune functions, and on. But then vast percentage of the human brain is open real estate. What you see during development, really between the ages of birth and about age 14 mainly, but certainly extending longer, creates a set of modules or maps within the brain that allow you to predict what's going to happen in the future. So if kids are growing up doing a lot of swiping behavior, there are entirely different maps of how language is encoded, how motor functions and language interact.
Digital ID must be accepted by U.S. citizens by 2028 or risk exclusion from society. Are you going to be ready to stand up and
the most important things in Britain at the moment, the cash machine of freedom. If we remove cash, we go in the direction of a digital system. I know it's convenient. It is convenient to be able to have a card that holds all of your digital finance, but look, at the end of the day, choice is what we're actually campaigning for. We need to boycott any store that is cashless. We have surveillance in every single part of London, ULEZ, congestion charge. We have a digital infrastructure taking over our country. Young people, you have a direct responsibility to use cash. I know we grew up in a completely digital environment, but the freedom that you currently have is going to dissipate in the next 10 years. It is actually one of the greatest attacks on humanity we have ever seen. If we are reliant on a digital system, we are reliant on the government. They have complete control over our finances and where we go. Electric cars, electric currency, it's going to completely take over our lives. Cash is a symbol of freedom, and if we can preserve cash, we can preserve our human.
Remote surveillance drone. Robotic flies.
So this was a fly.
This is not the first mechanical one that I've run across. They are being used for surveillance, not by the government per se, but more by these entities that are not directly human, or, well, they have a different lineage than the ones that they are using them to spy and torture with. Advanced technologies like this. This is what it looked like before. Then its head fell off and was magnetic. So you can even see the little wire that connected to the inside of the rest of it. Don't know what they're made out of.
Use it, you just put the glasses on, then as you walk by people, the glasses will detect when somebody's face is in frame. This photo is used to analyze them, and after a few seconds, their personal information pops up on your phone. Cambridge Community Foundation. Oh, hi, ma'am. Wait, are you Betsy? Yes. Oh, okay. I think I met you through like the Cambridge Community Foundation, right? Yeah. Yeah. It's great to meet you. I'm Kane.
Oh wait. So do you happen to be the person working on like minority stuff for like Muslims in India at all or something? Yeah. Really? Yeah. Are you Kashif? Yes. Oh, I've read your work before. It's super cool. So here's how it works. We stream the video from the glasses straight to Instagram and have a computer program monitor the stream. We use AI to detect when we're looking at someone's face. Then we scour the internet to find more pictures of that person. Finally, we use data sources like online articles and voter registration databases to figure out their name, phone number, home address, and relatives' names. And it's all fed back to an app we wrote on our phone. Is your address 4 Valley? Yeah. Atlanta, Georgia, 303. Yeah.
Oh my god. Yes. Not anything, but yeah.
Also attended Yale's Young Global Scholar Summer Program, right? Really?
Yeah, these are me in like middle school.
Oh my god. What about John and Susan? Are they your
Those are my parents.
parents?
The military has been using drones for years, unmanned aerial vehicles or UAVs. Now the U.S. government wants to expand the use of drones to include commercial and private use, and New Jersey is among several sites selected nationwide.
Opportunity for the state of New Jersey, and the reality that unmanned aerial systems, UAVs, the technology is there to use them today, but we haven't figured out a way to safely integrate them into domestic airspace.
Rutgers University is partnering with Virginia Tech to conduct the research. Drone research is already underway at the FAA Technical Center in South Jersey. Companies like Amazon have also experimented with adapting drones for commercial purposes. Lobiondo believes the technology has immense potential.
There's an application with agriculture, there's an application with medicine, there's an application with law enforcement, disaster relief, all kinds of things.
There are also economic benefits.
They're talking about billions of dollars of economic opportunity, thousands of jobs. Even if it's only a fraction of that, it's really big. But it puts us on the map, following through on the work that we're already doing here.
The FAA expects there will be 7,500 drones in U.S. airspace within 5 years. Rights groups and residents have concerns about widespread use of drones. Critics fear they could be used to spy on Americans.
It's not constitutional, and we will go to every effort we can to make sure that there is no abuse of that.
It's pretty scary, but, you know, whatever. It's science. It's what it is.
We have to keep up with technology, but then there are concerns about accidents.
Lobiondo believes South Jersey is an ideal testing location because it has military and commercial airspace.
Nobody has the two side by side, so that as this integration into domestic airspace takes place, we can do testing under both scenarios.
The first testing site will likely be up and running in about 6 months. In Egg Harbor Township, I'm Desiree Taylor, NJTV News.
I knew there was such thing as bug drones, but check this out.
They flew over our head probably 7, 8 feet. One of them hit the pole, and you could hear it on the ground. I thought it was one of those Katie did things. But you tell me, why in the hell would this shit right here be flying around? Somebody please explain to me what the hell that is. And I found out, as I was picking it up, if you squeeze that on the end on each end, then it's going to do it one time, then I guess it shuts it off. So somebody, for the love of God, please tell me what that is.
We know the cicadas are out right now. I can hear them outside as we speak. Can you hear them? It's not as advanced as this, but that guy's drone bug, what do you think it's for? Could it be for nefarious reasons? Could scientists just be following around the cicadas to see where they come from, where they go, and who knows?
Wondered why in Deuteronomy 22:11, the Most High tells us not to wear a garment of diverse sorts, as of wool and linen together. After finding this out, I invested in a bunch of linen clothes for my health. Studies show that different fabrics give off different frequencies that can be measured in megahertz. Organic cotton, for example, has a tested value of 110 megahertz. Polyester has a frequency of 10 megahertz. A diseased or a dying person has a frequency of 15 megahertz. This is why you need to stop wearing synthetic fabrics that are filled with chemicals. Now, wool and linen both have a frequency of 5,000 megahertz. And studies show that wearing these natural fabrics can actually improve everything from your mood to your skin and your blood circulation, and have tons of other wonderful impacts on the human body. Now, what's crazy is, thousands of years ago, he told us not to mix wool and linen together. And studies literally show that when you mix wool and linen together, the two frequencies, the 5,000 and the 5,000 from the wool and the linen, cancel each other out and it drops to 0, meaning you would not get the beneficial frequencies of that fabric. But people don't want to believe in scripture. Come on, man, Yahuwah is amazing. But yeah, after finding this stuff out, I went and invested in some nice linen outfits. Man, this stuff is so breathable and comfortable. And honestly, I do feel a difference after wearing it. This is my first day wearing like pure linen, and I have a whole outfit of pure linen on. And honestly, this stuff is very comfortable and I feel great. I also highly recommend throwing out all of your polyester clothing because it is actually destroying your health and bringing your body to a low frequency, even of that of a dying and diseased person. We were never meant to wear synthetic chemicals on our body. We wonder why there's so many sick and diseased people nowadays. Sometimes it actually just has to do with what we're putting in and on our body. Switch to everything natural. Your body is a temple and your health matters. This is 3 John 1 and 2. Beloved, I wish above all things that you may prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. Hallelujah. Barak Yahuwah. Shalom. I'll see you guys in the next video.
Something really weird is going on. There are way too many people experiencing the same thing when it comes to these auditory hallucinations. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just go back to my last couple videos. But basically, it's where you go to sleep or you lay down at night, turn your fan on, and you start hearing like a radio on that's not there, or it sounds like the TV's on and you go check, but there's nothing on. What's crazy is everybody's having the same experience. It sounds like there's a radio, but you can't hear the words. It sounds like the TV's on, but you can't make out what they're saying. I've even seen people saying that their spouse is hearing it as well. Now, there's a lot of people saying their spouse doesn't hear it, so that makes them think that they're crazy, but the people whose spouses do hear it are hearing the same thing, and then finding out that there's no sound there. I don't know if it's some type of a Mandela effect, or if it's CERN, or if it's 5G, or HARP. Maybe it's even our consciousness coming into the 5th dimension. But after that video I made last night, there's over 1,000 people who are saying they're experiencing the exact same thing.
Has opted everyone in the world into their location data tracking network. Even if you don't have any Apple devices. Even if an Apple device has never connected to your network. All it takes is one Apple device seeing your Wi-Fi, and now your Wi-Fi is part of their data collection. Researchers believe that Apple's APIs can very easily be used to track individuals' movements, and they've already been able to demonstrate the ability to track troop and refugee movement in Ukraine. If you would like your Wi-Fi to not be tracked by Apple like this, you need to regularly change your SSID when you do things like use your phone's hotspot mode, and for your home Wi-Fi you can add the text _no-map to the end of your SSID. So of course it's on users to even know this is an issue, and we have to take steps to change our network settings to fix it. That's pretty lame, Apple. It's pretty lame.
Gary, no wonder Elon Musk gave this video an exclamation mark. This is footage from a coffee shop using AI to monitor its employees.
Y'all need to listen, though.
Blue text with white letters indicates each employee, and the number shows how many cups of coffee they've made. You can see that an employee named Anna is working diligently, making a total of 20 cups. Meanwhile, Olga is hiding in the corner, slacking off, and has only made 3 cups. All of this is tracked by the AI, which then reports the findings to the boss. In Amazon warehouses, similar technology is used to monitor employees. They even allow AI to generate termination notices for workers with low productivity. But it doesn't stop there. Before long, everything around us, from cars to ships to our daily lives, will fall under AI surveillance. Everything will be tracked, monitored, calculated, and analyzed. If you're wondering what AI is really capable of, well, this is your answer.
Dystopian future books like 1984, a lot of them predicted that the government would force things into your house, like a television, that there would be loudspeakers installed so that you would have to hear the ramblings of the fascists that run the place, that this media would be given to you and you would be forced to consume it, and that would be your only media. But the disturbing part is they actually made us buy it. They tricked us into buying TVs that would show us ads and propaganda that we didn't want to see. So 24/7 they can be pumping this consumerism into us. They tricked us into buying smart thermostats that they said would make our lives easier because we could control them remotely. But the truth is they wanted to control them remotely. They made us buy something that took away the control to our own environment. They don't have to have a huge tracking system, our phones do it for them. Not to mention we gave them our fingerprints, our facial scans and biometrics, iris scans, and they didn't even need a warrant for any of this, we just gave it to them. But we had to buy the method of our own oppression. They tricked us into paying for DNA testing. And they don't have to control what we talk about, they just read our conversations and our emails. And don't think that your phone isn't picking up on keywords too. And who knows who's listening when it does hear certain keywords. And now in the next part of the dystopian nightmare where they make us buy the tools of our own oppression, in the EU they just passed the GSR 2024. Now you have to have cameras installed inside your car that scan your face. They say it's to help with driver distractedness and drowsiness, but let's be honest, there's no information of ours that they collect that they aren't using for nefarious purposes in some way or another, or selling.
Today, I ran across a video of a bird that appeared to have some sort of technology or lights coming from the bottom of it. I want you to check it out real quick. Now, many of you may have heard of this, but not too long ago, there was a theory circulating basically stating that birds weren't real and instead were robots built by government agencies in order to spy on the general public. This was obviously just satire meant to poke fun at outlandish conspiracies, but what if some of these concepts weren't really that far-fetched? In the 1960s, the CIA launched a project named Acoustic Kitty where they implanted a microphone and radio transmitter inside of a cat with hopes of using it to spy on 2 men outside of a Soviet embassy in Washington, D.C. In 1967, when the project was canceled, some agents claimed it was a failure while others claimed it was a success, leading to some confusion about the results. If they could make spy cats in the 1960s, is it far-fetched to believe that they could make other creatures spies, including birds, today, specifically to listen in on people?
Hiding this from you. During the 1900s, bells around the world were all collected and destroyed. Governments claimed it was due to the metal shortage during the world wars. However, it is believed that there is a much more sinister motive. Bells are powerful tools. They are not just signals that another hour has passed. These bells clear negative energy, raise vibrations, and connect us with higher realms. Fully aware of this, they were destroyed to suppress human awakening and maintain control over our collective consciousness. By eliminating these powerful instruments, society is forced to a lower vibrational state, and a further disconnect is made between us and the realms above. But it gets even deeper. In 1953, the standard frequency of music was intentionally adjusted from 432 Hz to 440 Hz. The 440 Hz frequency is considered disharmonious and disruptive to our energy fields, while the 432 Hz frequency is believed to align with the Earth's natural resonance, promoting healing and awakening. Without the sound of bells and the constant exposure to modern music, society is being kept at a lower vibrational state, resulting in our connection to the divine being weakened.
Recognize that the technologies being called AI now are reliant on mass surveillance. They require huge amounts of data to train and tune these AI models like GPT. And then they require more data to input into those models, whether it be personal data that the models use to make a decision or prediction about us, or whether it be the prompts that we enter into systems like ChatGPT. So I think we need to be very cautious with the AI narrative, where we are being led to confuse mass surveillance with intelligence, and by doing so, initiate these corporate technologies into the core of our social and governmental institutions.
Look, people, this antenna at the top has a wire following it all the way down the building. All the way down into the ground. It's because this antenna is harnessing the ether. The ether is the element that fills all space with infinite free energy. And all of the energy that this is producing is being grounded and sent straight into the ground. All of these buildings from the 17 to 1800s have these antennas, spikes on the top of them, because they are all doing the exact same thing. It was a complete different world. They've got rid of this technology because now they're capitalizing and making you a slave to work to pay the bills for something that is free. Look, here's another one. Antenna being grounded again on another building. You need to wake up and realize there is free energy